Hey everyone, it's James here again with another unboxing video. This time for a pre-release pack from the new Magic the Gathering set Kaldheim. Um, Pre-release events were this past weekend on January 30th and 31st. Wasn't really able to do as many of them as I'd like to have, but was able to play in a couple and it was a lot of fun. So I thought I would do this unboxing video to show you what's inside the pre-release pack and maybe show like what deck I would build if I were doing an event with this specific package. So that being said, let's get it open and see what we got. All right, sleeve off of there, open her up. Of course, you get a spin down life counter, and you get 6 booster packs. You also get a nice little divider, which I love to use for sorting my cards, and also a little code here for Magic the Gathering Arena, so you can get 6 packs within the game. I'm not going to flip this over and show you the code. And you also get a date stamped foil rare, which is always fun. Let's see what we got in this one. Looks like we got the Bark Channel Pathway. We got the fun little date stamp right there, the 30th and 31st. This is green on this side, or I could play it and get blue on the other side. So that's really neat, nice little pathway. Let's get these packs open and see what we got. So what I like to do is I like to open my packs, separate them by color, and then go through and see what has the most synergy and what I can use to make an effective deck. So here we are with pack number 1. So I'm not going to spend time reading them all out right now. We can worry about that after we get everything separated. Although I would like to point out the new snow permanents, how they have the lighter color around the edges. I like that a lot. I think it looks really cool. Here's a Saga here. It's an uncommon. 1 blue, 1 white, and a colorless. I gain 2 life on the first chapter. For each Foretold card that I own in exile, Chapter 2 adds blue and a white to spend only for Foretell cards or to cast spells that have been foretold. And then Chapter 3 is return target card with Foretell from my graveyard to my hand. So that's pretty handy. And then Poison Cup, Colossal Plow. Whenever it attacks, I get to add 3 white and gain 3 life until end of turn. You don't lose this mana as steps and phases in. Crew of 6 for 6/3. There's a really interesting creature that goes very well with that. And then this is pretty sweet. This is what the showcase cards look like. You can see the alternate artwork and the really cool, I guess, Norwegian scroll work you would show around that. This is Vorinclex, the Monstrous Raider. It's a Phyrexian Praetor. Trample Haste. If I would put 1 or more counters on a permanent or player, I get to put twice that many of each of those kinds of counter on that permanent or player instead. If an opponent would put 1 or more counters on a permanent or player, they get to put half that many of each of those kinds of counters on that permanent or player instead, rounded down. So that's pretty powerful. So I really want to be able to play green out of this box. Let's see what happens. And then here is one of the dual Snowlands, Swamp Forest. It does come into play tapped, but I think that's fine, especially since it's tagged as a Swamp Forest, so easily fetchable in, I guess, other formats. And then our Dwarf Berserker token. Wow, I mean, I could stop right here and be happy. I mean, I couldn't make a deck, but definitely got my value. That's pretty sweet, that Vorinclex. So let's see what's in pack 2. This guy here, Priest of the Haunted Edge, sacrifice him. Target creature gets -X/-X until end of turn, where X is the number of snowlands you control. Activate this ability only anytime you could cast a sorcery, which is pretty cool. But in this limited format, it's difficult to get a lot of snowlands because you only get, well, at most 6, and you got to hope that all 6 fit in your scheme. So not sure how I feel about this in this format, but it is a 0/4 for 2. So if anything, he's a nice blocker. here's one of the uncommon lands. It does come into play tapped. I get to tap it to add green. I can pay green and 2 white to sacrifice it to put a 1/1 counter on each of up to 2 creatures I control. They gain vigilance and lifelink till end of turn. Only do it as a sorcery though, so still pretty cool though. And then it looks like I got another mythic here. Orvar, the all form. 1 blue, 3 colorless for a 3/3 changeling. Whenever I cast an instant or sorcery spell, if it targets one or more other permanents I control, create a token that's a copy of one of those permanents. When a spell or ability an opponent controls causes you to discard, create a token that's a copy of target permanent. So that's pretty sweet. There's another dual ice land and a treasure token. Pack number 3. Getting quite a bit of green and blue. This thing's trying to tell me what to play. We'll see what happens. Sculptor of Winners. Another snow permanents. Here's another uncommon saga. Red and blue. First chapter, scry 2. Chapter 2 lets me draw a card, then reveal a giant card from my hand. When I do, it'll do 2 damage to target opponent or planeswalker. And chapter 3 says the next giant spell I cast costs 2 colorless less. And then we'll follow that up with another red and blue saga. That's my rare. Chapter 1, Battle of Frost and Fire, deals 4 damage to each non-giant creature and each planeswalker. Okay. Chapter 2 lets me scry 3. Nice. And then chapter 3, whenever I cast a spell with converted cost 5 or greater this turn, I get to draw 2 cards and then discard a card. So there's some potential there. I don't know how I feel about doing red-blue, but we'll see what happens. There's my snow-covered mountain. And wow, okay, a foil mythic. So that's 3 mythics in 3 packs. This is the Burning Rune Demon. Flying, when this demon enters the battlefield, I get to search my library for exactly 2 cards not named Burning Rune Demon that have different names. If I do, reveal those cards. An opponent chooses one of them, put the chosen card into your hand and the other into your graveyard, and then shuffle your library. That's cool. And then one of the blank cards for the modal double face cards. All right, here we go with pack number 4. Here's another saga. Red-green, target creature I control fights up to 1 other creature I don't control with chapter 1. Chapter 2, I get 1 red mana and I get to put 2 +1/+ counters on up to 1 target creature I control. And then chapter 3 lets me gain life equal to the greatest power among creatures I control. And then we've got another pathway. This is the black and green one. So black on this side, or I can cast it and use it as green mana. Very cool. Another snow-covered mountain, and 2 elven bowls now, and then a troll warrior token. Here we go with pack number 5. I think it's a safe bet out of 5 packs, the amount of green I have, that green is definitely going to be one of my colors. Agar the Freezing Flame, a red-blue uncommon giant wizard. Whenever a creature or planeswalker an opponent controls dealt excess damage, if a giant wizard or spell I controlled dealt that damage, I get to draw a card. Okay. Call the Forge Master, the red-white 2/2 dwarf warrior. Another non-token creature I control dies. If it was enchanted or equipped, I get to return it to my hand. And creature tokens I control that are enchanted or equipped get +1/+1. Not really feeling that one. And then there's the red-blue uncommon land over there. And then, wow, this is something. This is one of the borderless extended art cards. You can see the difference there. They're both the same card, Dark Boar Pathway. Here's your standard frame. Here's the really cool borderless full art. Very nice. Big fan of these borderless cards. These are gorgeous, and I love the artwork on it. Very, very excited. Snow Covered Swamp, and then random token. I got to tell you, getting 2 of the lands and the amount of green and decent black, I'm thinking I might do green black. Let's see what pack 6 says here. Runed Crown. I haven't seen this one yet. When Runed Crown enters the battlefield, you can search your library, hand, and or graveyard for a rune card and put it into the battlefield attached to Runed Crown. If you search your library this way, shuffle it, and the equipped creature gets +1/+1. Okay, not bad. Here's my rare for the pack. Dream Devourer. He's a 0/3 for black and 1 colorless. Each non-land card in my hand without Foretell has Foretell. Its Foretell cost is equal to its mana cost reduced by 2 colorless. Whenever I foretell a card, Dream Devourer gets +2/+0 until end of turn. And I'll tell you, with the couple events I got to play this past weekend, I really enjoyed the Foretell mechanic. It was a lot of fun. So maybe we can make this work. We'll see what happens. There's another dual Snowland and then a bird token. All right. Alright, so like I said, just out of wanting to play that really awesome mythic and then the amount of black stuff I got, I kind of want to see what black and green's going to give me. So what I like to do is just get the cards all together by color. And then I'll take the 2 colors I'm thinking about and I will divvy them up by creature and non-creature. And then get this out of my way. Go. Okay. So the first thing I like to look at when I'm going to make a deck is I want to look at the way, how can I be my opponent? Like, that's what everybody thinks. So one thing that's really popular in limited formats is some type of evasion. So do I have a lot of flyers, or do I have a lot of trample creatures in the case of green? Do I have any kind of removal, which black obviously has a lot of. There's some like fighting cards in green. So I want to see what non-creature spells I have here. That's a creature. So I got this Mammoth Growth, which gives a target creature +4/+4 until end of turn. In a way, that's removal because I could just use a combat trick there. I can foretell this for 2 colorless, leave it off to the side, and then when I want to cast it, it's only going to cost me 1 green instead of the green and 2 colorless, and that's why I like foretell. So let's see what else we got. Elven Bow is okay, 1 green. If I pay another 2 colorless, I get a 1/1 elf warrior that I can attach this to, and suddenly I have a 2/3 elf that has reach. So that's good because my opponents might be playing their own evasion game with a lot of flyers. So it'd be nice to be able to block that. And I have 2 of those, of course. And then the Struggle for Skimfar. This is one of those fight cards here. So again, I can foretell it for 2 colorless, play it at sorcery speed for the 1 green, give a 1/1 counter to one of my creatures, and then have that creature fight one of theirs. So there's some removal there. So there's essentially 2 removal. Let's see what black has in removal. Poison the Cup, again, foretell it, so I can cast it at the lesser cost, destroy target creature. And if I had it foretold when I cast it, I get to scry 2, so I really like that. Village Rites, as an additional cost to cast this, I have to sacrifice a creature, but it lets me draw 2 cards. Okay. Not removal, but it's something. Raise the Dragger, I get to return a creature card from my graveyard to my hand, or return 2 target creature cards that share a creature type to my hand. So that's potential. And there's a second one. So as far as the removal goes, black and green is not it. And this brings up another point. Just because I got the sexy green and black mythics doesn't mean that'll make the best deck. But let's see what creatures we have. And I like to do this by casting cost. So I just go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5 or more. So mana curve's pretty high. Green, of course, that's what green is, right? High mana cast, but big creatures, which are always nice in this format. We got the Sentinel here that has reach, a 1/2, and I get to tap an untapped creature to add 1 mana of any color. That could come in handy if I'm not getting the color I need. We've got a Changeling, which is nice. When he enters the battlefield, I get to put a counter on target creature. Okay. This elf lets me untap a Snowland, which is kind of nice considering the amount of Snowlands we got. His boast ability is nice. Whenever I attack with this creature, I can pay green and colorless to boast, which allows me to search my library for a basic land card, reveal it, put it in my hand, and shuffle my library. So that could help with the mana fixing. Icehide Troll gets +2/+0 and gains indestructible, but only if you tap 2 Snowlands for that ability. So I'm not really sure about that one. We have 2 Icehide Trolls. And then that Outrider, whenever I cast a creature spell, if I use Snow to help cast it, it comes into play with another counter on it. So, okay. All right. And we got 2 of the Elderleaf Mentors, which a green and 3 colors for a 3/2 is a little high, but you do get a 1/1 green elf out of it. So that potential. 5 mana for a 5/5 is nice. 6 mana for a 6/6 is nice on its own, but you also get to gain 4 life when he comes into play, so that's kind of sweet. We talked about Vorinclex already. 6/6 for 6 that has Trample Haste, and then another 5/5 for 5. So let's see what the black gets us here. We got a 3/1 lifelink that dies. Each player mills 3 cards. I'm not crazy about that, but we got this Raise the Jogger, so if I did get rid of a creature I wanted, I could always get it back. There's that Priest. That's a 0/4 for 2. Got the Vengeful Reaper. I like this because it's flying, Death Touch, and haste. It is black and 3 colors, but it's a 2/3 with those abilities. And you'll notice here the Foretell is only black and 1 colorless, so that's nice. The Disciple's nice because when it enters the battlefield, my opponent discards a card, so that could come in handy. There's our Flying Demon, 6/6 for 6. That also lets me go get 2 creatures. Very cool. Dread Rider. I get to pay black and a colorless to exile a creature card from my graveyard. Target opponent loses 3 life. He's a 3/7 for 6. That could be a good late game. If I'm having trouble getting through, I can always do that. And then, of course, our Dream Devourer here. Okay. So I would do one of those. Definitely want to put him in. I don't like putting too many spells with multiple instances of the same color, because obviously if you're not getting the land you need, you know, you're stuck with this in your hand until you get that second forest. So I like to try to keep as much to single color as I can, but sometimes you can't help it. I like those 2. That's probably where I would stop with my, I don't want my curve to go too high. We don't need 2 trolls. Honestly, I don't know if I even need 1 troll. I like that he's a 2/3 for 3. I like that this guy is a 3/1 with lifelink. I'm not crazy about the milling, but we'll see. We'll keep him in for now. 3/2/3 is all right. I would probably go with these as my creatures if I was going to do black-green. And then these would be my spells. So this is what my green-black would look like. I'm not crazy about it. Let's see what we have in the other 3 colors. We might be able to do something a little more fun. I'm going to keep these together though, because like I said, I would really want to play green-black if I could. But let's see what else we got. Okay, here's our white. Same deal, separated by creature, non-creature. I'm going to look at my creatures real quick. I only have 3. None of them fly or have any special like battle tricks. So I'm not feeling white right now. We'll put those creatures back. Let's see if we have any removal here. We do have evasion here. This gives, for 1 white, I get +1/+3 and gain flying till end of turn. And I get to untap it, so it becomes a blocker. So that's nice. I get to draw a card and gain 3 life. This is a little expensive. It's 5. My creatures I control get +2/+1. Obviously, I would want to foretell it, so I wouldn't have to pay that all at once. So it's not terrible. Here's an enchantment that gives my creature +2/+2. I can also pay to exile it to return another ore or equipment to my grave. So, not feeling that one. 1 white to give a creature +1/+1, and when it dies, I get a 1/1 white spirit creature token flying. That has potential, but again, I only have 3 creatures, so I don't know. Bound in Gold, basically a pacifism. Enchanted permanent, can't attack, block, or crew vehicles, which is nice. And its activated abilities can't be activated, so unless they're mana. So that's pretty good for 3. Get to lock somebody down. And then Invoke the Divine, have 2 of those. Destroy target artifact or enchantment, gain 4 life. I would sideboard those if I was playing white. If I was going up against a lot of sagas or equipment or vehicles, that'd be great, but I'm not really sure. Let's see what blue's got. Blue's typically going to have the flyers. Let's separate these. So what we got here in our non-creature here, we got Behold the Multiverse, which lets me scry 2, then draw 2 cards. Again, we would want to do the foretell, in my opinion. Split it up. Instead of having to pay 4 in 1 turn, I can spread it out 2 and 2. Missive Lajara. I get to flash this in. Enchanted creature or vehicle gets -3/-0. That could come in handy. Annul. Counter target artifact or enchantment. There's another Behold the Multiverse. Rune of Flight, not too bad. Blue and a colorless. And I get to draw a card when it enters the battlefield. And if the enchanted permanent's a creature, it has flying. If that enchanted permanent's an equipment, the equipped creature has flying. So that's a really neat trick. And as far as I know, that's a relatively new thing. So I can have this equipment out and actually put this rune on it and then use this to equip to the different creatures to give them flying. So I kind of like that ability. That's kind of a lot of fun. That sounds like a lot of fun. Wow, we really loaded up on the miss and the annuls. I don't know how I feel about blue. Let's see the creatures here. When this guy enters the battlefield, I get to look at the top card of target player's library. I can put it in the graveyard if I want. So 3 for a 3/2 is already good, but that extra ability is kind of nice. Orvar, the All Farm, we talked about this when I found it in the pack. 4 for a 3/3 changeling that lets me create tokens. That could be something. This guy's kind of nice. 1 blue for 1/2 with flash. When it enters, target creature an opponent controls gets -2/-0 till end of turn. So that's a good battle trick. The Frost Augur, 1 blue for a 1/2, which again is good. Look at the top card of your library when you pay snow. If it's a snow card, I can reveal it and put it in your hand. Okay. There's another one of those thieves. And then Inga, the Rune Eyes, 1 blue, 3 colors for a 3/3. When it enters battlefield, I get to scry 3. When it dies, I get to draw 3 cards if 3 or more creatures died this turn. So if somebody did a board wipe and he was out, or, well, you get it. So that's pretty cool. And let's see what red has. Red's going to have a lot of your direct damage, of course. So let's see what we have here. A couple of Run Amucks, which gives a target attacking creature +3/+3 and trample till end of turn. Okay. Got a couple of Squashes. 1 red, 4 colorless, or 1 red and 1 colorless if you control a giant. Deals 6 damage to target creature or player. That's nice. The Shackles of Treachery. Gain control of target creature until the end of turn. Untap that creature until end of turn. It gains haste, so cool. Whenever this creature deals damage, destroy target equipment attached to it. So I like the first part, just being able to take their creature if they've got something big that I can't get around. That's just bonus points if it happens to be equipped. Dwarven Reinforcements, 1 red, 3 colorless to give me 2/1 red dwarf berserkers. And again, we could foretell that. And then we have the Dwarven Hammer, which is kind of cool. Red and 2 colorless. If I pay an extra 2 colorless, I get a 2/1 red dwarf that I get to attach it to, and it becomes a 5/1 trample dwarf. So that's not bad, not bad. 3/2 for 3. Wow, okay. 3 Hagimogs. 5 for 5/4. That lets me boast. I'm just not feeling it, honestly. Surprisingly, not a lot of flyers in blue or white. I like some of the stuff in my white non-creature spells. My lands. There's a blue-black. There's black and green. That's white. Another blue-black. That's green-white. And there's green-black. Yeah. Green-black's what I'd go with, guys. Let's pull this back out and see where we're at. So ideally, when you make a deck, you want it to be 40 cards. Another thing that's inside these little pre-release boxes is this handy little tip sheet here. This is the Kaldheim one. Some pretty cool artwork. And then on the back here, you'll see you'd want to have a deck about 40 cards. 15 to 18 creatures is what they recommend. 5 to 8 other spells. Kind of shows you a really cool little mana curve graph. You want to keep it around their 2 and 3 mana cost. You don't want too many 1s, but you don't want too many 5 and ups. And then they recommend 17 lands as well. So using this, let's see what we have here. So I'm sure you've noticed I like to keep these in groups of 4. It just makes it easier to count. I don't have to keep counting it over and over. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 23 cards total. You'll see we have 7 other spells. 1, 2, we have 16 creatures, so we're kind of falling right where they would want us. Now I'm gonna maybe sabotage myself. I want to look at the artifacts we have. So we showed off that runed crown. I don't have any runes, so I'm not going to worry about that. This Raven Wings, I know it's silly, a 2 colorless, it costs 2 colorless to equip, but it gives equip creature +1, +0, and flying, and makes it a bird in addition to other types. That part doesn't really matter. I just like flyers. As we've noted, not a lot of flyers here in what I've got, so I do want to include this in here because that actually saved me a couple times in some of the matches I played over the weekend. And then we have our equipment. I like what the Raiders Carve does. When it attacks, I get to look at the top card of my library. If it's a land card, I can put it into battlefield tapped. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 24. Dude, I'm going to take out one of those. I'm going to put that in just for the heck of it. And then I don't remember having any green-black sagas, so we don't need to worry about those. So the next step I would do is then count up my mana symbols and try to figure out my land. So if we go through and count the black mana symbols, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then I take that number and divide it by 2. So that'd be 6. I need 6 sources of black mana. Technically these count. So there's 3. And if you're doing one of these pre-releases at a local game shop, they've got a land station. I always bring my own because I don't want to accidentally take theirs. So there's my 6 sources of black mana. Now let's count our green. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Round up to 14, so I would need 7 green. Here's 3. So let's get 4 more. Okay. So again, our little cheat sheet here says you want to have around 17 lands. So let's see what we got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 lands. That's not going to cut it. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 24 plus 10. There's 34 cards. So to get to 40, I need 6 more. So what I would do then is add 3 more black and 3 more green. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39. There's 40 cards, which my friends would tell you who I play these events with. The fact that I got this to 40 is amazing because I usually go 43 or 44 just because I want to play the cards that I get. But I just didn't get a lot of those this time, so I'm actually going to stick to the 40. 1, 2, 3, 16 lands. It did ask for 17, but the fact that we've got a couple of dual lands in there, and then let's not forget we have our elf that lets me untap a target snow land, which again is situational considering I only have one. So scratch that thought. There's a 40 card deck right there. And I think this would be a lot of fun to play. We do have our demon. We have our Vornklex. And yeah. So here we go. I don't know if this would win anything, but I could certainly flex, couldn't I, with the 2 mythics right there. One of them foil. So yeah. Anyway, thanks for watching this video with me, guys. It was I love doing pre-release events. I love doing sealed stuff. It's so much fun. Everybody's kind of on the same level playing field. Somebody's going to get awesome pulls, and I can tell you I've had plenty where they weren't and just had a terrible day, but golly, it sure is a lot of fun regardless. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching the video. Please like and subscribe. I will hopefully be doing more videos coming up soon with a lot of the new sets that Magic's putting out this year. So yeah, hopefully we'll see you soon. Thanks. Bye.